Hello, and you're watching the International Daily Roundup by People's Dispatch, where we bring you some of the top stories from around the world. Let's take a look at the headlines. Student leader in Swaziland gets bail after mass protests. Egyptian human rights lawyer is accused of terrorism-related crimes. ExxonMobil oil exploration project into Brazil raises questions. Let's get into our first story. A court in the city of Manzini granted bail to Kolani Maseko, the president of Swaziland National Union of Students, SNUS, on Friday, February the 4th. The student leader has been arrested on January 31st and is charged with sedition. His bail came a day after the SNUS marched to the Manzini Regional Police Headquarters and held a demonstration on February the 3rd. A cross-section of Swaziland's pro-democracy forces, including the banned political parties, trade unions, and youth organizations, attended the action. Outside the police headquarters, the protesters at the demonstration openly threatened to render the kingdom ungovernable until the release of Maseko and all other political prisoners of Africa's last absolute monarchy. Students reiterated the call for the overthrow of King Mswati III to make way for multi-party elections. Swaziland has been witnessing wave after wave of protests by students, workers, and other sections over the past few years. There has also been fierce repression. Last year, protests spread to rural areas as well. Mswati fled the country and returned by mid-July, only after the army had violently repressed the uprising by killing 70 people and injuring hundreds. Let's go on to our next story. Osama Bayoumi, a prominent human rights lawyer in Egypt, who was missing for 6 days after being detained by the authorities, was presented before the state security prosecution on February the 3rd. He was charged with crimes such as joining a terrorist group and spreading false news as per a tweet by the Egyptian Front for Human Rights. He was arbitrarily detained after authorities raided his home in Cairo at 1 a.m. on Saturday. Egyptian Network for Human Rights Executive Director Ahmed Attar said that Bayoumi had been forcibly disappeared. The security forces that raided his home reportedly confiscated his mobile phone, work laptop, and some cash. Attar said that Bayoumi's laptop contains confidential information about his case and his clients, which is now in the custody of the authorities. Attar also revealed that the security forces did not present an arrest warrant or a warrant to search his home. According to the report in the Middle East Eye on Tuesday, Bayoumi was not presented before any investigative body, which as per Egyptian law should have taken place within 24 hours of arrest. And for today's final story, we go to Brazil's Sao Francisco region. American mega corporation ExxonMobil is preparing for oil exploration in a stretch near the Sergipe-Alagoas basin. The project area is located at the mouth of the Sao Francisco River and has raised serious concerns about environmental damage. Exxon was responsible for one of the worst spills in history when 42,000 tons of oil were dumped in the Alaska in 1989. Exploration near the Sao Francisco River could affect up to 80 municipalities. This includes indigenous Quilombola fishing and riverine communities. The mandatory public consultation process has not taken place in person due to the pandemic. Even though it's still waiting for a license, Exxon has already been found training local residents on how to deal with oil spills. Here is a video feature by Brazil de Fato on company's plans and their potential impact on the area.
My story in fishing started when I was a child. At the age of 4, my whole family fishes, my uncles, siblings, cousins, everyone.
Among fishing workers, the story of Maria Aparecida is not uncommon, but the tradition of artisanal fishing in the region of Baixo São Francisco, Alagoas State, and the river itself may be threatened by oil exploitation projects in the region. The multinational company ExxonMobil is preparing to explore the river's basin between Alagoas and Sergipe. It can affect 52 conservation units. The researchers who follow the technical team studying the possible environmental impacts are concerned, especially if there is a leak.
In my opinion, there is a lack of attention by the governmental agencies to this situation. They need to be a little more transparent and informative, and the information has to arrive at the traditional communities more clearly. It needs to be discussed more and inform all of the region's population.
A total of 11 oil wells can be drilled in that stretch. The region has environmental preservation areas and fish species only found in the São Francisco River.
What caught my attention most was that 5 species of turtles spawn in that region. Most of those are endangered species. We also have an environmental protection area and a fishing priority area.
Those who depend on fishing are concerned about being left stranded if the exploitation harms the river. Until the moment, the project is in the exploratory phase and is still waiting for a license from the agency responsible to start searching for oil, which may or may not exist in the region.
And that's all for today's episode. For more such stories, visit our website, peoplesdispatch.org. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And come back for the next episode. Thank you.